Hello, my friends. This is going to be the destruction of houses of wisdom and the cathedrals. Now, I looked this up for the illuminated manuscripts. And, they'll tell you the oldest one is, a few hundred years BC. Not a lot of them exist anymore. They was part of the books that belonged in these houses of wisdom. Now, I chose this house of wisdom just to show you an example. This is the one in Baghdad. It was also known as the Grand Library of Baghdad. And basically, a man and his father and grandfather started off a library, and 400 years later, it was known as the Grand Library of Baghdad or the House of Wisdom. And of course, the House of Wisdom and its contents were destroyed in the siege of Baghdad, which Genghis Khan, now leaving relatively limited archaeological evidence for it, and most of the knowledge is gone. See ya. We don't need it. So, this House of Wisdom. Now, inside of this House of Wisdom, they would have the illuminated manuscripts. Okay? And it says here, one of the largest surviving examples of these is the Codex Gigas in Sweden. It is so massive that it takes 3 librarians to lift it. If you've never seen it, they are giant books. Now, these books obviously came from a different timeline, different period, before the reset, whatever you believe. Now, let's all agree, if we don't agree with a lot of things that happen around this world, agree that we do not get told the truth. They are full of crap. If you look up the list of destroyed libraries, Wikipedia, look, the mainstream, they'll tell you. They don't care. They're proud of it. They'll even give you the pictures of it even burning too. But here's just a few here that are sitting in ruins now. University of Alabama in 1859, that original place where they had that library, gone. Lebanese National Library, gone. Public records, gone. You notice it just all looks the same too. All these buildings contained the books of light. All these buildings contain maps and charts of the entire world. And in Baghdad alone, which is, let's see, this next one here, in Baghdad alone, in the House of Wisdom there, 400 years, people came with their charts, with their maps. They had the coordinates of hundreds of cities all over the world. They fact-checked people there. Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone was welcome. Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? All the time. Wars, bam. Star forts, too. You can see a star fort out in front of some of these where the older pics, But it was odd to me that this was just, it just got done. And then so we wonder, when people say, well, that's not our history, that's what somebody wrote. You're exactly right. It's all a lie. Because if you try to get, I don't think that it would be smart for anyone who ran a country, whether you be a king, anyone, if you were smart, and they like to claim they are, that knowledge would be sacred to you. They'd be more than any riches you could find for that kind of knowledge, and to know where you're at and your maps and what have you. Don't think they did not pillage these places and take every single thing out of them. Now, here's one thing that I found too about these relics, about what happened inside the cathedrals, what happened in the houses of wisdom, what would go on, your libraries, your cathedrals, what was in them. Well, we get told, of course, every single thing they find is either a shrine to some fallen god or something, and don't buy all that, all right? Even this right here, what I'm reading you, don't buy it. Just make your own opinion, but just check out what they tell you it is, and then you can kind of figure it out on your own. But I skipped through all the blood of Christ and all that mess, and I get right here. Eventually, it became difficult for the government to control the authority of these cathedrals, right? Because the public was like, hell no. So what did they do? They were like, okay, we can't attack the public, we'll attack them. So, they blame it on King Henry. Why did they blame it on him? Don't know. He was a fall guy, though. Because apparently he got mad because he had 6 wives and he did whatever he pleased. The Pope wouldn't give him a divorce from his wife, which is complete sack of shit. Okay? Don't think for 1 second. Yeah. Don't think about that for a second, because that is a complete made-up story. Those of you who know this for a fact and you were actually there that day when this happened, just leave me a comment, let me know. But I'm just saying that, that sounds like a really big lie, okay? That he got upset. Now, he didn't just destroy 10, 15, 20, no, 800. Thousands of people lost their lives. For what? Because he wanted a divorce. Gosh dang it. The medieval understanding of religious houses of institutions associated monasteries and nunneries with their property, with their money and their endowments of spiritual income. Right? Isn't that weird? If the property with which a house had been endowed by its founder were to be confiscated or surrendered, then the house ceased to exist, whether its members continued in the religious life or not. So basically, understand what they're saying. It doesn't matter that you worship God like they claim. No. We're going to destroy this building. Well, you can tell me all day long that you did it because you were mad, but I can tell you this. If you don't care what the people are doing in there, you just care about the building, then what does the building do? You see what I mean? So we can't get really lied to about that. And that's a whole nother video on what they actually do. But inside of these places, there were some books, and they'll tell you some truth to some things where you can put 2 and 2 together. And then they'll even let you know. King Henry said the dissolution of the monasteries, occasionally referred to as the suppression of the monasteries, was the set of administrative and legal processes between 1536 and 1541 by which Henry VIII disbanded monasteries. Look at that. Convents, friaries in England, Wales. Disposed of their assets and provided for their former personnel and functions. Okay. Yeah. What they do. Don't know. Then they had people go around, right? After he got rid of all of them, he went to the other ones because, see, they pretty much knew, okay, hide everything. Hide it. They're coming. After they got about 700, 800 of them, everybody knew, just get rid of them, hide everything. The people who didn't obey, they just killed them. But this guy right here, he got, in 1534, Cromwell, on behalf of the king, an inventory of the endowments, liabilities, and income. All right. It says Cromwell delegated his visitation authority to hand-pick commissioners, right? Now, what did he do, right? He assessed the prevalence of superstitious religious observances such as the veneration of relics, and for acquiring into evidence of moral laxity. Okay, so you're telling me that the king, this idiot king, says, you go make sure everybody's being moral. Whatever. Look at that. The chosen commissioners were mostly secular clergy and appear to have been Erasmian in their views, doubtful of the value of the life and universally dismissive of relics and mysterious, miraculous tokens, right? So that's all just some hogwash. Don't listen to it. So then he said, well, you know what? Somebody has to be the supreme leader. I'm already the king, so you know what? Just make me the supreme head of the Church of England. And I'll just change all the rules. I'll get, my divorce. I mean, that's a hell of a way to get a divorce, just so you know. It makes absolutely no sense. This whole thing is just a lie so that they can destroy whatever these things were. Now, They're even so bold as to give you a map of all the places that were destroyed. They sit in ruins or they're completely gone. Okay. Now, if you notice how it doesn't make any sense, right? Now, some of them, they went all the way down. But now look, these things didn't take a couple of months to build. They took years to build. Now, if he destroyed them in 1533, then I think someone's lying about what exactly the time frame is that we're looking at here. Yeah, because some of them appear to be ancient. And you're talking about somebody making, 5 million bricks in the 1400s. Like, so who did that? That's another video. There is no one. And then you get them like this. It just basically it's just stone. Like they literally took stone from the surrounding areas and cut it into blocks and fastened it, and it is up there still for 800 years, however long it's been up. Mm-hmm. Some of them, they have no idea when they were built. Some of them is 1100s, 800. It just doesn't make any sense. If they were there that long, and a lot of them are around water, they all have kind of the same exact place. It seems like they were located. Number one, think about this. Do you really think that do you really think that there were that many churches? I mean, honestly, think about how humans are. Do you really think that there was a time that we did that? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I mean, am I saying that there wasn't a time on the earth where God maybe walked with man and stuff? Absolutely. Hey, I'll buy anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that these buildings were not houses of worship to start off. They eventually became houses of worship, but they were not that to start off with. So therefore, going by and destroying everything, taking their wealth and taking all the relics and the supposedly mumbo jumbo of all the superstition and the magical stuff that took place. Well, if your eyes are open, you know that it's a great way to rip our souls out right there, take away something that heals our body, that makes us all one with each other, and separate everything. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you all that. It was quite insane. I love everybody. You take care of yourself. I'm out.